the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. It is verdict day today for the former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak. And the latest that is coming in is that Najib is presently in the moment inside the Kuala Lumpur High Court. And we're being told that the judge is presently reading out the verdict. And the court is yet to announce if Najib is guilty of corruption and money laundering charges. The outcome is being widely seen as a test of the rule of law. 5 months after a new government took power, Najib has been accused of siphoning off hundreds of millions of dollars from the public funds from the country's sovereign wealth fund and had transferred reportedly funds from the sovereign fund into his own personal accounts. In addition, the Pekan Member of Parliament also faces 3 criminal breach of trust charges and 3 money laundering charges in relation to nearly about $10 million that were found in his bank accounts. A criminal breach of trust under the country's Section 409 of the Penal Code carries a penalty of at least 2 years and perhaps even as much as 20 years of imprisonment. The highest-ranked politician in the country has of course become a poster boy of corruption. Once Malaysia's most powerful man, Najib Razak, remember, was arrested in June 2018 after his party had suffered a shock election defeat, ending its 61-year grip on power. Najib Razak had served as the Prime Minister between the years 2009 until 2018. He had co-funded the 1MDB, from which some $4.5 billion in terms of assets reportedly was stolen. A separate US Department of Justice investigation to track down Najib's assets has called it the biggest case being pursued by the department under its kleptocracy program. Now, earlier, the police had also raided his family homes and had seized more than $270 million in terms of cash and other goods. The stolen cash was allegedly used to bankroll Hollywood hit The Wolf of Wall Street, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, and also the US investment titan Goldman Sachs reportedly had also become embroiled in the scandal. Now, anger at the looting had played a large part in the shock loss by Najib's coalition in elections 2 years ago after 6 decades in power. All right, now to give us more perspective in terms of what is happening with this very high-profile case, we're joined in by Azmi Hassan, who's joining us live from Kuala Lumpur. Mr. Hassan, let me begin by asking you this. We are given to understand that the verdict is in fact being read out as we speak, and the information that is coming in is that the Malaysian court has reportedly found Najib Razak guilty in the first of the cases for which the verdict is presently being read out.
Yeah, it's true that one of the 7 charges, Mr. Najib has been found of guilty. But I would think it would be more interesting to find out about the other 6 charges, which carries, I would say, a heavier penalty. I think it's going to be a long day today because the judges are still reading the justification. And it's true that we only know only one of the charges, which is the misuse of power as the Minister of Finance at that particular time.
Right, now we're talking about this scandal that pertains to the One Malaysian Development BHD, the 1MDB scandal as it has come to known. Now this is actually a fund that Najib Razak had co-founded back in the year 2009. Now give us some perspective in terms of what the allegations actually are. Now, did Najib Razak try siphon off money from a fund that he had co-founded in 2009?
Yeah, it's true that the 1MDB is a sovereign and wealth fund that was established by the Prime Minister at that time in 2009. And from the current ongoing, there are another 4 trials that should be ongoing. 2 is ongoing. All are related to 1MDB, which amounted to something around 4.5 billion of misuse of fund. I think that's the crux. And it's true that when you say that the 1MDB issue is playing a critical role when the government at that time, Barisan Nasional, which is led by Mr. Najib, lost during the general election. So 1MDB, even though it has been going for 3 years, it's still, the results are still coming out. And I would say that Mr. Najib, the current trial that is going on will play a critical role on the another four trial that should be going on after this.
Right, now Najib Razak has of course come out and said that all of this is happening because he lost the election and this is essentially a case of a political witch hunt. What is the public mood like in Malaysia? How are the Malaysians looking at this case?
It is very partisan. The opposition, currently the opposition right now, truly believe Najib siphoned the money from 1MDB. But the supporters of Mr. Najib from the party, UMNO party, truly believe this is a political persecution. So whatever the result is, it will draw a line between the supporters and the non-supporters of Mr. Najib. And true that it said that whatever the result coming out today will have a very heavy impact on the current government, which is Mr. Najib political party, UMNO, is part of the current government right now. Since the current government has a very one or two majority in the parliament, so whatever the result coming out today will have a heavy impact on the political situation in Malaysia.
And also another person who's also facing the trial is Najib's wife, Rosmah Mansoor. She has also been charged with money laundering. She's come out and pleaded not guilty in this case. What's likely to happen in her case?
The trial is going on Mr. Najib's spouse, Rosmah Mansoor, but the trial on Rosmah Mansoor has got nothing to do with 1MDB. It's got to do with a bribery case. But it's still going on. It's going to take some time before the judge will come to a decision. So we have to wait what's going to happen on the Rosmah Mansoor trial.
Right. And also what is interesting in all of this is that at least 6 nations, we are given to understand, including Singapore, Switzerland, etc., have launched an investigation into charges of money laundering and financial management related to 1MDB. Why are 6 nations actually probing this particular scandal that has to do with Malaysia's sovereign fund?
It is very intricate and I would say a very delicate matter because the real player behind it, which is what we call a Jotek law or Jolo, as we know here, still missing, is not appearing in court. He's been using intricate money networking to transfer money from one account to another account in Switzerland, Singapore, and United States. And that's the reason why we see 6 nations are involved in this particular 1MDB, because the networking of fund transfer has been going on in this particular, as you said, nation just now.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Azmi Hassan, for joining us and getting us all those insights. We'll, of course, come back to you for more as details emerge. The verdict we're given to understand is still